Hey, hi, happy Friday. I'm gonna make pico de gallo. So, when you think of pico de gallo, it's supposed to be, well, it's actually, it translate pico de gallo, I just heard this, as rooster's beak. I don't know why. But it's less juicy than salsa and more salad topping like. There's a poodle behind me that thinks that we have company up here and he'd like to see. So first thing you're going to need is your ingredients. So, and pico de gallo to me seems like it would be, everybody's got a favorite recipe for, say, chocolate cake. Not everybody makes it the same way, or potato salad. Not everybody uses the same potatoes. Not everybody uses the same chocolate. When you're doing these recipes, you do it the way your family enjoys it, and that's the way it is in your family, and it's the best. So this is going to be my best. So I'm going to use 2 jalapenos. I'm going to take the ribs and seeds out. I like heat, but not a lot. Then I'm also going to take a lime and use the juice of a lime. I like Roma tomatoes because they're more meaty and less juicy, watery. And you don't want a lot of water with your pico de gallo. Or not water, but liquid. I use just a tiny bit of garlic, salt, tiny bit of oregano, and onion, and parsley. So that's the gist of it for ingredients. So I'm going to start by doing, and I'm wearing gloves because apparently I cannot cut a pepper without touching my face at some point. So you might notice that in my videos that I touch my face. So anyway, cut the top off, bottom, I don't know why. That'll be my bowl that I put my stuff in. Oh, I've got a garbage can right here just for that. I think I'll use that. Okay, so tops and bottoms off. And then I slice it lengthwise down. I didn't do that one very straight. And then this one. And then if you take your finger, you can just pop out the ribs usually, like this. And then I'll get the rest of it out too. You know what? That's dangerous. I think I'll do it in here. I'm going to miss and hit the floor. Get that all. If you leave some seeds, it's not going to be super horrible if you don't do heat. It's just going to be a little bit warmer. And it seems to me too that peppers, depending on maybe it's depending on the weather, the water, the place it was grown, some are warmer than others, by far. And I've made this before and had my guys tell me, boy, that was really hot. Which kind of peppers did you use? And well, the same I always use. I've also used Pablano. You can use Serrano. But my favorite is this. Just regular, straight up, old-fashioned jalapeno peppers. Anything that you put in your pico de gallo, anything you put in your pico de gallo is going to be chopped fine if you can help it. You don't want big chunks. The alarm is on? Yes, okay. If it starts to beep in here, it means that probably there's an Amazon order. You guys see that on Facebook where they go, what's the definition of Amazonnesia? It's when you order things and you don't remember what they are when they arrive until you open them. It was hilarious. I've got a container here. These are the Rubbermaid, I don't remember what they're called, but they've got a tight fitting lid. You can put them in the microwave, you can put them in the freezer, you can put them in the refrigerator. They're fine for storing stuff. So I'm going to put this in here. This is going to take me a while, so it's going to be a longish video. I probably could have cut some of these peppers up ahead of time. Let's see what else. I think it's pretty, the colors of this. In the end, it turns out kind of Mexican flag colors, like green, white, and red from the onions, tomatoes, and peppers. You can take this and use it as a dip for you know, straight up tortilla chips, whichever kind you like. Or you can put it on eggs, fish, tacos. Just makes a really good fresh topping, vegetable topping. Of course, with the kick. This will get eaten up. In my experience, this will get eaten up in the refrigerator storage. I'll keep moving it to a smaller and smaller container, like daily, for 3 days, and then it's just gone. And then they'll come to me, well, who ate it all? A lot of times I'll make a second batch when they really feel like it didn't go far enough. I like it best on tortilla chips, and second best just added to tacos that have, rather than lettuce and tomatoes, you know, I would just put meat, cheese, and this pico de gallo. I've seen some seeds here and there, and I'm not bothering with them. They'll be okay. After you get this made, you want it to set in your container in the refrigerator, and you'll store it in the fridge too. You'll let it set for at least, I would say, 30 minutes to an hour. The longer it sets, the better, because the flavors just meld better and better. Didn't know why I didn't think of this until now. Okay. Now then, after that, I'm going to chop an onion. This is just one small yellow onion. Looks kind of white, but it's actually a yellow onion. Not sure why I use yellow onion. It's just what I've always thought to use with it. And maybe somebody in your family makes it and they use a white onion. I think actually white onions are more, they have more heat, they're more spicy, like heat-wise. I might be wrong about that. And this isn't like a sweet Vidalia. It's just a regular yellow onion. And because this is your own recipe, you can put as much of anything. Like if you really, really love those peppers, I'd put more, and I'd put warmer. And if you really, really like onions, then more. Same with the tomatoes. I'm going to use 10 Roma tomatoes, and the reason that you want to use Roma, oh, I already said that, didn't I? That it's less liquidy than, say, a slicing tomato or beefsteak or whatever. They're also pretty inexpensive. Right now they are. They may be getting a lot more expensive. I got groceries today. I didn't get that much. It was $186. I'm stunned by what it costs for groceries now. It's gotten so bad that I wonder if I should quit doing delivery, even though it's really convenient. That's an extra $10. It's $9.95 to get them delivered. Do you all have delivery groceries in your areas? I don't care that much for Walmart, but I do like Fred Meyer grocery delivery. I don't mean the food or the groceries. They're both about the same thing. Prices are better with Walmart, but you have to put up with a lot of stuff when you're at Walmart. And if you have it delivered, and again, I think I've said this before, it takes a lot longer, and there's no communication between you and the person doing the shopping until it's brought to you and you find out that things were subbed or whatever. I like the ability to be able to say, oh, don't sub that, or yes, do sub that. It's Friday the 15th here of October. I've got a grandson that will be 18 tomorrow. Nobody ever thinks that a little baby that's born is going to grow up and become an adult until it happens, I guess. He was a teeny tiny thing when he was born. He was, gosh, I think he was 5 weeks early, maybe 4 weeks early. Not super preemie, but he was super tiny. He was 3 pounds, 14 ounces, and went home in 3 days. Off oxygen, doing great, holding his temperature. Okay. And now he's in high school. You know, because you have an October birthday, you're usually a year behind the other kids that are in your class. He hit it right. I think that it's fine for him to have an extra year of being there, you know. More maturity to graduate. Whew, these onions are starting to bark at me. Okay, this is just the last little piece of onion. Do you all watch Jen Chapin? She has a YouTube channel, and Jen, nobody chops vegetables like Jen. I actually left a message on her page and I asked her, she worked at a restaurant when she was younger. She's a nurse now. But she's something. Just, it flies and gets it done. Okay, so this is the parsley. And I used Italian flat leaf parsley. Oops, I almost. So when, you know, you get Italian flat leaf parsley, it's going to look like this. You want to take it off the stems because the stems aren't very tasty. Just the leaves like that whole. And get rid of that. I used this and this. It's up to you how much you want to use. Again, I'm going to find a recipe and put one so you can kind of sort of follow it. Then I try to roll it up just in a roll and just start chopping on it. You want it super, super tiny. A mouthful of parsley isn't as good as little bits. So if you're into cilantro, go right ahead and knock yourself out. It probably is wonderful with cilantro. And that's what most recipes call for. When I got the recipe for this, gosh, it was 20 years ago, I bet. I was attending a La Leche League meeting. I wasn't yet a leader. I did become a leader later. And one of the other ladies brought this. We all brought little snackies for after the meeting to mingle and chat and whatnot. And she gave me this recipe and she said, now I know you don't care for cilantro, so you just go ahead and use parsley. I thought it was sweet that she remembered that, but I hope I don't fuss too much about it, you know, but apparently I do. All right, so minced up as small as you can get it. Yeah, somebody got through there. And one more. I see a piece of pepper that I missed. Just this little one hiding here. I'm going to get that in there next. The sun is shining pretty here. I went down to the waterfront and I saw a bald eagle and I saw very few children because it's really windy and it was making it feel a lot colder than it is. I bet it's probably 60, but that wind was probably making it feel more like 50. And I saw some people walking their dogs in strollers. That seems to be a thing lately. Keeps them safe, I imagine. If you've got a little dog and a big dog is going to, you know, try to start some stuff, you can protect them better. I don't know that that's why they do it. They maybe do it because the doggy's got a bad leg or something. Uh-oh. Am I being too loud? No, wrong kid. I've got one kid telecommuting, working in the bedroom, and one kid is just, he worked late last night and he's just rolling out for the day. He took his girlfriend to work earlier and came back and went back to bed. Am I going to lose my taste tester? I tried to get him to go to the beach with me and he said it wasn't his thing because I was going to hide rocks, and I did hide rocks down there. When I say hide, I don't mean I really like hid them under bushes or anything. I placed them where small children would come across them near the playground. Okay, I think that's good for the parsley. Come here, dear. Let's get you taken care of. The last bit of pepper. You ever seen anybody cut themselves while they're doing vegetables or something on the YouTube channels? I bet I'll be one of the first. Okay. That's that. The juice of 1 lime. How you do this? Like this. Okay. Nope. Upside down, Kendra. There we go. Oh, no, squirt ya. The lime part is one of my kids' favorite. So I use a whole instead of a half, and you can only use a half if you don't care for lime, or don't use a lime at all. Use a lemon. Okay, that's good. That part's done and out of the way, and this part is done and out of the way. Now I'm going to take this over here, and I'm going to put, this is so controversial, I'm going to put a little tiny bit of vodka. That's the vanilla recipe. I don't even drink, really. Just a little bit of, what is this? Garlic. All right. Some salt to taste. A little tiny bit of oregano. And it's just powdered. It says all natural ground Mediterranean oregano. My glasses are over there, or I would be able to read better. Mix it all up, show it some love. Now this is going to just sit and, you know, kind of meld together and flavor. I hope I did enough with chopping of the parsley. I don't like big bites, but if it's tasty, I might. Okay, so now I'm going to go after these. These are funny. If you're used to using them, you know. You want to cut them in half, core them just a little bit. Sometimes the piece right in the middle near the stem is kind of woody, and so you just take that out. You're going to want to de-seed. I'm going to need this back. De-seed. So take out the, just push your thumb in the holes like this, and the seeds will drop out into the bowl. Let's see. What else I got to say? I don't usually do long videos, and so I might run out of things to say. It's not usually a hazard around me. My husband's been away on business. He's going to be home very soon. I'll talk more about that after he gets back. I tried to do this video over at the dining room table in front of the window for better light, but I don't have a tripod yet. When he gets home, he's going to help me with that. I mean, I'm using a tripod, but it's the one that they gave me when I went into Walmart and said, hey, I want to vlog. I need a tripod for my camera. This is my camera. And she said, here's this one. And it was $9.99, and I should have known it wasn't going to be the best tripod if it was $9.99. Okay, gonna get all these deadly seeds out of here and put the tomatoes in now. If I can figure out how to edit, I will edit out most of these tomatoes, because I know this is boring. Just listen to me yammer on about it. I was watching a vlogger this morning that's just got on an airplane to go to Hawaii, and she's vlogging every day while she's there with her BFF. Know how to say her name. I think it's Rye. Not positive yet. I need to look into that before I try to share her name. Sorry. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm jealous of your Hawaiian trip. Really, I don't like heat and sun that much, but I still would love to go and see like the farmers markets, the fruits and veggies that they have, and the history, you know, all the really cool stuff. I'm not much into beachwear. So I'm trying to make sure that it's cut small. So you're supposed to let the other vegetables marinate before you add the tomatoes. So that's why I've got them separated. These tomatoes were just delivered this morning. Not Hawaiian tomatoes, though. Oh, Yakima tomatoes. Yakima is over the mountains from us on the warm side of the state, where we're on the water side of the state with the whales and the stuff like that. Did they have northern lights in other parts of the country like we did the other day? That was pretty amazing. And they said it was from a solar storm, a solar flare. So I was thinking about going out for Mexican, but I decided not to do that. Not for any real reason at all. Just decided I wouldn't do it. Maybe next week. We have several good Mexican restaurants here in town. And then if you want to go a couple towns over, there's more, of course. Probably like most places. So I am closer, I'm in Port Orchard, and I'm closer to Olalla than Port Orchard, really. And we've been at this house for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in January. Before that, we were in Port Orchard, on the other side of Port Orchard, for close to 20 years, 21 years, something like that. So we finally decided we were gonna go ahead and buy another house. So we were working on getting things fixed up before we left. And so we hired somebody who was a carpenter, independent carpenter, and had him come and help us with some things that needed fixing. And when he got there, he asked why we were doing these things, and my husband told him, and he said, "We just qualified. Why don't you let us see if we can buy your house?" It was such a blessing because we didn't have to put the house on the market. He said he was going to do all the repairs. We did a lot of them anyway, but you know, he was a carpenter and he was doing a lot of the little things like that. We found a house and we offered them what they were asking, and they took it. And right now here in our area, I'm not sure how it is in your area, but in our area, the housing market is vicious. You can put your house on the market for a price, way more than it used to be. Housing prices have gone through the roof. And, put it up for a price, and your real estate agent will have an open house. And when you get to the open house, you'll be told something like, the homeowner will be entertaining bids for the next 3 days. So people are doing things like writing letters about what they love about the house, why they feel like they should be in the house, and offering above and beyond what they're asked. It's not like you go in and say, yeah, I like this house, but what about this and that? And I'm going to give you a little bit less. Will you take it? Nobody does that anymore. Not here. It's nuts. Anyway, that was getting that way, but it wasn't quite as bad as it is now. I've only got 3 more. You guys can't even see this off camera. There we go. I've always wanted to have a, what are those called? Compost bucket that I could use to raise, to get castings, for the garden. I don't want to say that while I'm doing food, but those things that grow in your compost. We have lots and lots and lots of space out here for a garden. And the only thing that we've planted so far, like an actual thing we planted, was we went and got a baby maple tree because of the colors. That's my favorite thing, is to see the colors in the autumn. And it just today I noticed was starting to change. Next year I want to get a baby something else that's going to be, like this one's going to be red, I think. And I want one that's going to be shocking yellow. And then another one the next year that'll be orange or something. But a garden would be nice. So now, Olala actually translates or means, so I've heard, land of berries. And berries do grow. On our property we have blackberries, strawberries, elderberries, salmon berries. Can't think of any more. There's more. Lots and lots. The trouble is those things tend to take over. So you have to beat them back, especially blackberries. And I think that's why we have deer that come. It's a lot better than when we first got here. It was way overgrown, and you couldn't walk through part of the yard property. So used to calling it a yard, but it's not. Yard meaning just right out front. So when you go walking, you're in the woods, and it's very cool. I like it. I've always loved the woods. I feel like it's peaceful. It's not scary. Oh, it's not scary, but the first week we were here, I went exploring. And we know absolutely for a fact that there are cougars and there are bear and deer, but I'm not afraid of that. But anyway, I've been told to be careful out there. So the first week we were here, I went out by myself. My husband must have looked around and realized I was gone, or saw me go or something, but he followed me. And also you should know that I'm extremely hard of hearing. I have terrible hearing loss. I wear hearing aids in both ears, so I didn't hear him. He was behind me. And so I was saying, I talked to myself a good deal, and I was saying, oh, look at this. We've got, what are those berries? Sam, what are those berries called, with the red berries with the Christmas timey ones? Darn it. I'll think of it later. Anyway, I said, look, there's those, and I can use those for decoration at Christmas. And about that time, he was right up on me, behind me, and he's went, roar. I turned around and swung at him. I didn't know what it was, but I was going to take it out of this world. He's quick. I didn't make any contact. And then I screamed and danced and asked him why he would do that to me. But he laughed. Okay, last one. Okay. So, let's see. I love this. It's real low calorie too. Well, until you be dipping those tortilla chips in it. I think tortilla chips are some of the worst that you could probably, because they're fried in oil. The good ones anyway. Are you leaving? Bye-bye. You coming home?
Later.
Later, bader. See ya. That's my baby. He's 21 now. It's my only, whoops, dump it in the garbage bowl. He's the only redhead of the boys and girl. Ta-da! Let's take these off. And I'm going to give him a stir. Oh, it's so pretty. Dump it in here. See, this isn't that much. This looks like about what they would give you in a restaurant if you're with my family. The problem is, in a restaurant, they're going to have cilantro, and rightly so. I mean, that's what they use in Mexican food. One time I was telling the guy, this is what I want, blah, 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 and I go, does that sauce have cilantro in it? And he said, yes, it does. And like, proud. And I said, oh, I can't have that. Okay, well, just can you leave my sauce off? And one of the kids said, I'll take her sauce. And I, can you do that for him? Yes. And he goes, are you allergic? I said, no, but I should tell people I am because I like it about that much. Okay, boom. There we go. Put the lid on it. I like these too because these lids, they have a rubber gasket around the edges. So you can shake them like this in the fridge. You can flip it upside down and shake it. There you go. Let's stick it in the fridge, and they can have this tonight when they roll in from whatever it is they've been getting into. That was a long video. I'm sorry about that. So have a great day. Happy Friday, TGIF. Go out and find some joy. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. Bye.